He'll be back soon. So that's
so let's vote on removing the prince.
Turn off the camera.
Derek, if you're watching this.
That's hilarious. We could totally have a Primogen Council meeting right after this. Okay, so the Primogen they typically have a whip that serves them. Primogen have certain powers. They vote on the harpy. They can strip the Prince of Praxis. Got to be able to back it up afterwards, because if nobody's willing to go, well, I'm Prince now, that the other prince could just be like, well, I'm still Prince, fuck you all, or kills them all, and suddenly, new Primogen Council. There also going to be a block on it too. Bear in mind that if you don't have a unanimous Primogen Council on a strip of Praxis, it can be blocked. They also are the ones who advise the prince on various matters. They're the ones who coordinate amongst the clans. They're the ones who help set up feeding territories for their clans. They're the ones who introduce new members of their clan to the prince, or sponsor somebody who doesn't have a Primogen in the domain to be introduced to the prince. Their seconds are typically called a whip. Whip acts as the Primogen if the princes are there. But just like in actual real-world politics, the whip is also there to get the clan moving. Yes, if you have a large clan locally, say like the Bruja do, his whip, he's supposed to give his whip her instructions, and the whip is supposed to one who coordinates the clan, because the Primogen is kind of supposed to be above that. But in an actual in a domain that does, in a clan that only has like 2 people in it, don't really need a whip usually, except just as backup in case you don't happen to be there that night. Am I skipping any positions in the domain?
That's all of them.
This is your basics, guys, and this is just the basics. There's so much to this game. There's so much lore. You could literally just spend the next year reading stuff and still not feel like you have enough knowledge yet.
We do have a herald.
Harold's not it's a non-state. Do we actually have a herald right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who got named Harold?
It's Andy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That'd be
He
interesting.
didn't take that away from her, because that's just a whatever.
Because she was new and he couldn't
Right.
blame her for shit that happened before she even got here.
Right. So
Welcome to Ventru, but
Huntington named her the Herald before he got killed.
Herald's not really, it's a non-standard position. There's no status that's involved in it. They don't really have, they just stand at the door and announce people as they come in, or act as an emissary for the prince going to another domain. At least in this domain, that's what the Herald does. So does anybody have any questions on anything that we've gone over, or anything we haven't gone over? Go ahead.
Did you want to explain Coteries?
Oh, fuck me, Coteries. Coteries is it's another aspect to the politics of the game. Whereas you have clan is the primary motivator behind the politics, and then the different positions within the domain. You could actually go to other individuals and other clans and form your own little clique. It's called a coterie. You work together towards a common goal, or you just kind of protect each other or your interests, whatever it might be. Sometimes coteries revolve around a praxis seizure. They're working up towards it. They're working together for a praxis seizure. Sometimes they work around just controlling certain aspects of the city, specifically influence-wise. And in other cases, they're just there to make sure that nobody of their coterie gets fucked up. What are you two plotting over there?
he's pinching me, so I pinched him back. And then he made a sudden
All right, children.
Carry on.
So coteries are another aspect to the game. If you are not in a coterie in the game now, you should really look at forming one. Just make sure you choose wisely. In our last chronicle, we had, I want to say, 4 different coteries, and there was one character who was in every single one of those fucking coteries. And everybody just was like, yeah, we want you in our coterie. He's like, absolutely, sure. And it happened to be the fucking Setite. Once again, don't trust the fucking Setites. So, questions? Any others?
Assamite Tremere relations and
fucking hate each other. We'll go over clan relations real quick. The Assamites and the Tremere fucking hate each other. See, when the Assamites lost during the whole Anarch Revolt, the Tremere concocted a curse that essentially they could not drink vampiric blood. It would fuck them up. Because that was their whole thing for a long time. They were Diabolarists and they got paid blood tithes. Well, the Assamites recently broke the curse, but now they're back to their old drawback, which is if they drink vampiric blood, it could cause them to fucking frenzy on the person that they drank from. So the Assamites to this night still think, they fucking hate the Tremere for what they did to them. And the Tremere don't trust the Assamites at all, especially even though a whole bunch of them joined the Camarilla. The Tremere were opposed to it. All the other clans are like, we can't afford to not bring another combat clan in. Little did the Camarilla know that they were bringing in most of the non-combat fucking members of the clan. They were bringing the Rafik over. They were used to thinking of the Assamites as these badass warrior assassins. And the Viziers are like, yeah, that's totally us. The Viziers are not. If you were at all confused. The Viziers are like bookworms, like hardcore. Yeah, we study a lot. We know shit. So yeah, they hate each other. Obviously, the Bruja and the Ventru have a rivalry that's gone back. It depends on the domain, how bad it is.
Venturing Toreador.
Ventru Toreador has a rivalry, but it's not a hatred at all. In fact, of all the clans that are really hated the most, it's the Tremere. The Tremere are hated by the Shamasei, which doesn't matter in this game because the Shamasei are all fucking savant.
Gargoyles.
They're hated by the Gargoyles. They're hated by the Assamites. They're distrusted by most of the other clans to at least some degree or another. The only clan that currently in the lore that's really kind of tight, other than the Ventru with the Tremere, are the Gangrel, and that's because the Tremere deliberately were like, we kind of need. Let's get the Gangrel on our side. We lost the Gargoyles. They took the Gargoyles away from us, so we're gonna have our new pets. Come on, Gangrel.
Puppy.
Yeah, exactly. Other questions?
If you held a status such as noble, where you had personal territory, and you got that status removed, as well as your
He's like,
position.
no.
Okay, I'm going to assume because this is actually based off of the prince's local laws. This isn't mechanics in the book.
Okay.
But in all likelihood, I would continue to treat that as your territory until otherwise told. But in all likelihood, if somebody points it out to the prince, he's like, that's not his territory anymore. He doesn't have the status appropriate to hold it. Okay. So, but yeah.
Be careful.
Yeah, just be careful with that. Because if you try to claim, well, that's totally my territory, the prince is going to be like, the fuck it is,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a rule that's the prince's laws. So that's not a.
Well, he
a
said
game.
Ventures, we're feeding in the barrens for 6 months.
Oh yeah, you guys also lost all
He's
feeding
like, well,
territory. He
hello.
did strip you guys.
We don't have
implicitly.
territory to feed it. We're feeding in the barrens.
So I can't even feed in my own personal
Correct.
territory.
No, you can't. If you get caught feeding in territory outside the barrens,
That's my own personal territory. Who's going to catch me and patrol my own territory?
unless it's been given to somebody else and you don't know.
Oh shit.
Yeah. We've had an influx
Oh,
of new
man.
characters in the domain in the past few weeks, man. We're gonna have more pretty soon here. You might be in a position where you're trying to feed in somebody else's territory and you don't fucking know. Because you never fucking went, hey, is this still mine?
Mr. Prince, I hear that the Tremere or that the Ventru just lost a bunch of territory, and bringing in some Assamites, we would.
Well, I don't
certainly-
think he has the status to even speak to the prince anymore, do you?
I don't think I do.
No, because the prince has a law that you have to have either noble or privilege to be able to approach him. Now, and they don't, because they don't have a primogen. It's not like he can go to his primogen and be like, can you, like, take me to the prince so I can speak to him? What it comes down to is if you want to retain that territory, you need to start giving some boons away.
Okay.
So you need to approach either the current seneschal, who is Rosie, right? Rosie got named seneschal? Wait, who got named seneschal?
I think it was.
Was it Rosie? John Chandler's character, Rosie? Baldwin Rose, Rosie. Anyways, you can approach the seneschal and be like, hey,
Rosie
I'll
was-
owe you a minor
Sure.
boon if you get me an audience with the prince. And then you go to the prince and be like, I will owe you a major boon if you allow me to continue to keep my feeding territory and my haven there.
Okay.
And he could either be like, sure. Or, because that's what he was looking for from the fucking venture to begin with, was a major boon from each of you. And he decided,
He already has a major boon for me for getting the territory in the first place.
oh, how long ago did you do that?
Maybe like a month prior.
Okay, because if you gave a major boon for that territory, there's not much he can do
Exactly.
about it. It depends. How did you stipulate? That's the word I was looking for. Stipulations.
Okay, just kidding.
If you stipulated that the major boon is so that you have this territory for a minimum amount of time, then you're good. Did you stipulate that?
No.
Always keep your stipulations in there, guys. You want to make sure that if you're given a major boon for something, a major boon's a big fucking deal, man. He can make you use your influences for him. He can make you teach him stuff that you're not supposed to be teaching him, just because you owe him a major boon. So if you owe somebody a major boon, you need to have stipulations in there, especially if it's, I'm naming you to this position or I'm giving you this territory or what have you. You want to be able to say, so it's for a minimum of 6 months. I will owe you this major boon if for a minimum of 6 months I have this territory as my feeding territory. For future reference.
Okay.
You don't have that covering you right now. Now you can go to Derek out of character and be like, that probably would have been a stipulation, right? I didn't really know what I was doing. And if Derek is not a complete douche canoe about it, he'll probably go, you paid the boon for it. I'm not going to dick you over because you didn't know what you're doing. But talk to Derek,
All right.
okay? And then make sure you go to the harpy in character and make sure that stipulation was noted in there. Just say go out of character and be like, the stipulation would have been in there. And then you still have your territory because you paid a major fucking boon for it. You should still have it. Other questions? Anything about the clans in particular or the current politics of the domain?
Our Grangirl, or is that can be one now as a new character?
You can play Gangrel. They are not a pillar clan, so you don't get the pillar clan bonus XP. But the one thing about the Gangrel is one of the easiest goals to have as a new Gangrel coming in is to try to regain your pillar clan status, or at least your primogen status within this domain. And that could involve boons as well. Just bear in mind that if the prince changes at all during that, the new prince could just be like, no, you didn't give me those boons. I'm in charge now. No primogen position for you. This is why you want a Tremere prince, by the way. Because we would totally give you primogen position. I'm just throwing that out there. Just strip the Assamites of their primogen position, give them to the Gangrel. So any other questions? We're going to stick around after this to do, so we can do some basic character builds for those of you who are wanting to get that knocked out. We can print up character sheets real quick.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing I was going to ask you about.
Yeah, easy. It's character building is really easy.
Cool.
You have a month once you've started a character to make any changes you want, except for name and clan. So we'll do like a real quick build. We'll get an idea of what you want your concepts to be. We'll build it out real quick, stat it out real quick, apply your XP, hand it off to you. And then what you need to do is you've got to return home, and you've got to actually plug it into an actual PDF because you want to send it to the ST email account, including an XP log. So if you don't yet have a copy of the book, really recommend you do it. We can probably get you a copy of the PDF at the very least, just to get you tided over until you can order one.
Please write your character backstory, because that fucked me with the last Tremere because he didn't have a backstory and he owed me a minor boon. So have stories written.
Basically, don't have
Please.
characters do things for you when you don't have
A background story.
for the ST to actually
My first
reference.
downtime, the old Tremere did.
Look into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they couldn't do anything because I lost the downtime because he didn't have a character background.
Oh, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
she-
Yeah, so-
You tried to
Write
investigate
your
another
shit.
character's history, and they didn't have a background written.
Right.
That's
Write
rough
your
to.
shit.
So she just
please.
wasted a couple weeks,
Well,
actually.
really, here's the thing: and somebody paid you a boon to do that.
It was,
Yeah,
it
but
was
he
the
quit.
Old,
He's
Yeah,
gone,
he's gone.
so-
That was the old Tremere guy.
So she just wasted all these actions, didn't, and he's gone, and then
It happens. Really, what it comes down to is the STs should be gone. This is that player's fault. You get that downtime action back.
Yeah.
Just send in a new one. Actually, has Dave spoken with you? You're going to be assisting him with downtimes.
I was assuming I was going to do that anyways, but
He wants you to he wants you to actually start picking up primary downtime, like be the guy.
okay.
But you're going to be handling stuff like base and checking with him and Dane on like anything that's really complicated, or you're not quite sure what would happen, or you're not sure what's happened previously, that kind of stuff.
So it takes like all of 2 hours to write a background. So like don't.
And you only have a limited amount of time to
Procrastinate
do
on
it too. You have the guideline is about 1 page for every 100 years, no more than 1 page there every 50 years. And for most of you who are coming in now, most of you aren't going to be more than 100 years old. So you're talking about a page, and you can get, if it's well written, you can get up to 25 XP. It's really, really poorly written. The STs are going to be like 5 XP. Fuck off. They're looking for, make sure your spelling and grammar are good. Make sure that you have information on your mortal history, information on your embrace, why you were embraced, like a paragraph at least of just revolving around your embrace.
And then it flows.
Yeah.
Are you still going to be doing the
No.
backgrounds?
No, that's you guys. That's T's, not me, motherfucker. I'm just coordinator. I'm not doing that anymore. Yeah. So you guys got to figure out. It's probably gonna end up being you too. Have fun with that.
I do like reading. So
I'm glad you do, man, because you're gonna be doing a lot of it.
Have no life anymore.
Last chance for questions. I'm gonna call it. We've been going for just over an hour. Perfect. Fantastic.
Yep.
That's it. All right. This is 2 XP over cap for the month of July. So if you happen to earn 10 XP during games and downtimes and whatnot, you can earn up to 12 total this month, including the 2 XP for tonight. And I'm gonna call it with that.
Stop it. Cool.
me